Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm Terry at Holding Your Space, and this is Reverend Sol. So, welcome. It's been a month, I think, since you've been on.
Yes, it's been a while. We
Yeah,
kind of lost touch there.
yeah. Taking I've had company in from out of town, and um, yeah, summertime, right?
Yeah,
Hi, Esther. Hi, Jeff. Welcome, everybody. We are not sure what we're doing today.
we're winging it.
We are winging it, aren't we?
I think
Yeah.
we got to just answer your audience's questions.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. Hi, Patty. That's my sister. Patricia Stokes is here. And Teresa. Hi, Teresa. Yeah. So if anybody has any questions, what kind of questions will we answer? Reverend Saul.
Let's just take the gamut, see what happens.
Okay. Okay. If anybody has any personal questions or perhaps questions about galactic beings, that galactic ships, which you're really good on, NDEs, which you're excellent on. I mean, I don't think there's anything that you can't answer, right? Or what type of mantras that we might need in our lives.
Well, between the I and the I am and the I am that I am, we should be able to get your folks some answers.
That sounds good. That sounds great. Hi, Sonia. Hi, Julie. Good to see you. Yeah, so we are just talking about the energy that's going on right now and how it's just swinging up and down and all around. And there are days that I feel like I've got like a helmet on that weighs 85 pounds. You know, when you go outside in the heat and just the gravitation is really heavy. And then other times that you feel like you're going to float off.
And right now we're having major solar storms, and notice the weather. Our weather is based on the sun and mirrored here on the planet. So as we speak, we're being bombarded by additional electrons and protons and X-rays and so on, everything emanating from the sun. And then on top of that, we get this glorious new full moon, which was pulling on us to a gigantic degree, and then pushing on us to a gigantic degree based upon where it was located on this side of the planet or the other side. So we went through that, and now we're being electrified.
I keep hearing to be really gentle with ourselves. That's what my guides keep saying. To be kind and take care of ourselves right now.
Yes, the 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 word is be positive, be positive in all regards. Uh, but I have learned through mantra that you can accentuate any power by the Om Tea Jati, which we've worked with before. So if you preface your meditations with Om Tea Jati, then it will be activated in divine order.
I love that. And yeah, we've talked about all that before on Tijati.
The
Um,
beautiful thing is that we can follow the Om Tea Jati in English. You don't need to follow it in Sanskrit because it automatically does this translation into Sanskrit power for the listener as well as the projector of the energy or the mantra. So Om Tea Jati is a universal power word to get you into that which you seek or want.
wow. Okay. Let's see. We're getting a few questions in. Sonia asks, yes, she'd like a question. Can you see what kind of work I'll be doing, please, and thank you?
Well, you have two ways to go, probably three in terms of your universal number. There's three different directions you can take. One is educating, but the first one I saw was construction as to what I'm, you know, I'm sensing that it's carpentry is one aspect of something that you would be doing. I don't know if it would be a continuous profession as much as a hobby or do it yourself type of situation.
Hmm.
The other is like a Girl Friday.
So would you take that carpentry into metaphysical realm and like wasn't Joseph was a tent maker and Jesus was a carpenter? Yeah.
Hmm. Well, actually, they're talking about working with divine geometry, particularly with her interest, and it may include uh, pyramid structures that she could construct uh, for the living environment that she's in, or tetrahedrons, which are three-sided pyramids. I see you playing with this energy. So in cardboard, which could be done very inexpensively, you could test a lot of different geometric structures for their power and their color, and the power of their color based upon the actual color that you apply to the exterior surface. Or if you do cardboard or poster boards, you can get those in all different colors. And they'll have different powers once you put them in a triangular configuration.
So can we add crystals to those as well? And
Oh,
add, yeah.
yes, the crystals will enhance them. You can put the crystals inside, or you can do a geometric structure outside with a crystal pointing into the sides of the pyramid or tetrahedron, or pointing away. Depends upon how you want to project the energy, whether you want to project it toward the room that you're in, or if you want to focus it into that one structure, which would the points would be pointed directly at the structure versus points opposite the structure.
Mm.
Could be lots of play that you can do. Everybody can do it. Let me tell you, some of these miniature pyramid structures I was playing with them some years ago. When I first started, I like petrified an egg. It was like rubber after about 2 weeks.
Wow.
So they do very strange, unusual things and
Hmm.
connect you with universal powers.
So and you mentioned Girl Friday. So that Girl Friday, is that like a person that does many things for many others, like working with your guides or working with
Uh, Conscientious business like mindset, able to do a lot of things that's simultaneously. She's on her job, in other words.
hmm. Can you test your mic for 1 minute? We had a little static and I just made an adjustment.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Check.
Perfect. Oh, hi, Gerald. Gerald's here. He says you can add crystals to everything, is what I think.
Oh yes, one of the best things to add it to is a bottle of water, and like particularly your amethyst, very healthy water for you. If you're living in a city environment, then there's chemicals involved in the treatment of your water. But what really enhances the charge in water is using clear crystals, white crystals, or amethyst crystals. I like the amethyst best. They get the best charge.
Hmm.
And And you can get some extra energy out of it if you use like a wine craft where the bottle is curved up at the top from the bottom. You know what I'm talking about, like a wine craft shape.
Yeah, sure. I never thought about using that, to I mean, I try to charge, and put love and grace and whatnot in my water bottle before I drink it or my water, but I never thought about using. What about crystal, like lead crystal, cups? I've got a bunch of little lead crystal cups that I love.
I've never worked with lead crystal, so I can't really speak on that.
Yeah.
I would think I would avoid the lead, so I
Yeah.
would probably avoid the crystal.
Yeah. So Annie Bear asks, my shadow and light, are they in good balance?
As you think, so shall it be. So it's a situation that you create. Am I in balance, or I am going to be in balance? So to be in balance, it's a simple, very simple thing to do. Tula tula tula, tula tula tula, tula tula tula.
Times 9 to the
Times
72nd power.
nine, times 9 to the 90th power. We're adding a 0 to the 9 this week.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Annie Bear, has a great show too. She's Annie Bear Seven Feather. She does, a lot of healing energy and poetry and beautiful, paintings.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah, really nice. Okay.
She stays in balance. She makes every effort to stay in balance always. So this is picking up where she left off as a shaman in another life, and associated with ETEs. I think she's had extraterrestrial encounters. Probably this word is really odd. Eloped. So you must have some friends in higher places that you took off with and returned.
So I'm just going to ask this because I know Annie Bear quite well. Do you see any of the, because we often talk about them, the Sasquatch or Bigfoot or whatever you want to call them?
I see
No.
little people. I see ant people. And the Sasquatch, uh, hmm, I get blanked out on Sasquatch because they're an ancient race of very intelligent beings that when the incarnation of the Supreme Being was on the planet known as Rama, and Rama's wife was kidnapped by some demonic forces, a demonic army, by the way, and it was Hanuman, the monkey guy, that did all of the spy work to make sure his wife was okay during her captivity. And he also did some supernatural things for Rama and her. So when I think of Sasquatch, I think of these beings that are actually highly intelligent, very large in structure, that are quick, and I mean lightning quick. And they don't fly; they jump. So theoretically, if they wanted to jump someplace, they could jump 500 miles if they wanted to, literally. And this is the type of beings that we have and we share this planet with.
Wow.
I think they're called the Halarians, but they're in Google. Ask who the Monkey King is and what their race was that that assisted Rama in his wars against the dark forces. By the way, they did find a land bridge where they fought the last battle. It was written in the Vedas that this bridge existed between India and Ceylon, and she was being held captive in I believe in Ceylon, and they built a literal land bridge to get from there to that captive place where they did the final battle. And this was a battle where they used vimanas, which are space planes, as the ETs call them. ETE calls them. Yeah, these folks have lived here. They're residents of planet Earth. They have extraterrestrial ability, but they live. This is home base and has been for eons. And think about it, they live in a different atmosphere because they come from different atmospheres. They can't just walk around in our dirty air and expect to stay healthy, especially with all the radiation that there is in our world. So these are things we got to work on in terms of cleaning up the planet, the radiation for one.
I don't know if you noticed Tyler in the background, but he was digging up a storm when you were talking about him, trying to get in there. Oh, and Annie Bird says they protect the dimensions, the hairy people, the people of the forest.
Oh yes,
Aw.
oh yes.
And she also says, thank you for sharing this information, dear George. I think you know my friend Ron in spirit.
Hmm.
So she has a friend, Ron, that has passed on, that was a dear friend that was one of those, when you were mentioning elope and friends in high places.
Mm. Well, he's with you. He's one of your guys. Every time you see the hawk, you'll see Ron. He's talking to you.
Oh, he was Hawaiian and native. Yeah, and native. Nice. Beautiful. Beautiful energy.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. He still walks the planet, but occasionally he'll take journeys. He'll take her, take Annie, right? I barely see.
Annie Bear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He welcomes taking you on a journey to the Pleiades.
Wow. That's exciting. That's beautiful, Annie Bear. Love that.
Yeah, and can do this astrally with groups. Yeah, I'm seeing group trips. Uh, in fact, in a 9 foot copper pyramid, two pyramids, you can get about 6 to 8 people in there. You can use the pyramid as your ship and take groups to the Pleiades. There's a lot to see. There's a lot of different planetary experiences there. It's not just seven sisters, seven stars. There's 3,000. So there's a lot going on there, and a lot of the natives on this planet, they're star children originally coming from the Pleiades. All across our planet are Pleiadians ancestors, Pleiadian based folks that came from Pleiadian ancestry.
That's beautiful. Okay. Now, let's see. Teresa, can you tell me what I need to work on?
Work on who you are. Um, the Vedas, the first thing that comes to mind is we, you, all of us are the marginal potencies of the divine. It's called, in Vedic terms, tatasta shakti, marginal potency, power of the divine. Not the full power, only the one that's got the full power is the greatest spirit, Alpha Omega. But you have marginal powers. at the size. And when you think about our size, it's extraordinary the powers that the human being possesses and can project, particularly when our consciousness, according to the Vedas, our awareness, our beingness is only the size of a pinhead. So I would venture to say that you have a pinhead that powers this gigantic machine called the human body and gives it life and individual consciousness, and with an origin from that which is divine. Ashmi Tatasta Shakti, the marginal potency of the divine. That's what we are. We're a brain cell, so to speak, individualized. Wow, where are we going with this session?
All right. I love that, Teresa. Beautiful question. Um, that's what we all want to know, right? Tell me what to do. Julie, hello. Good to see you here. Is there a mantra for me to navigate the next few weeks? This is good.
Do things in threes. First mantra would be to balance. Start your day in balance. When you get up in the morning, tula, 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 tula. If you forget that, here's a new balancing for those that get dizzy. Same index finger, but right here in this V, press. Tula, tula, tula. And that's for those that may deal with getting dizzy from heights and stuff like that. But the main balance is this heart chakra, and balancing both sides of the brain.
Wow.
Yeah,
Love that.
number two is bliss. Start your day in bliss. Om Tijati. Um, Nirvana Shakti Preem, which means Om Tijati, bliss, power, love. That's where you start your day. And you add a vibrational number of hertz, let's just say 90 to the 90th power, times 90 to the 90th power. 3 repetitions. Start your day in joy and happiness. Third, here's a meditation. It's called a pyramid meditation now that we have been talking about pyramids. And everybody can try this. Open-eyed. For the males, imagine a pyramid that is purple, rotating counterclockwise. The base of the pyramid is at your brow, and the tip of the pyramid is a little above your head. And it's rotating counterclockwise, and the mantra is Om Tijati Shona Susi, which simply means calling on the powers of the purple pyramid. See it rotate. When you feel a change in your feet, just say yes or raise your finger to indicate that you feel something in your feet. Okay, now that you feel it in your feet, imagine for males a pyramid below your feet with the base of the pyramid at your ankles, the tip of the pyramid in the earth. And females, this pyramid is rotating counterclockwise beneath you. When you feel it in your tummy, just raise your hand and let me know that you move forward one more step. All right, if you're feeling it in your tummy, then you can get purple rain literally going inside of you as a mist. Om Tijati, here's the mantra. Shona Susi, which means pyramid. Rain is Varsana, Varsana, times 90 to the 90th hertz, 90th power, times 90 to the 90th, times 90 to the 90th. Do it just 3 repetitions.
Just 3 repetitions.
Yeah, 3 repetitions. Or you can do more, but the more you do it, the more you cleanse the entire center section of the body from the throat chakra down to the base chakra.
I'm gonna have us write this one out after we get off, so I can put it in the community page for people to get to because that's a really good one. I love that. I think
Yeah,
that's new to us.
it
So,
it literally is an aspirin mantra. Would you believe? I call it an aspirin mantra because I've seen it heal so many different maladies. Like one lady did the mantra. She was having problems sleeping, and now she's sleeping like a baby. Lady with a stomach ache, gone. Shoulder out of place, suddenly popped back in place on its own. Back out of place, pop back in place. So for some reason it acts, and I think an angel comes with it. I'm highly aware that the archangel of the purple ray is Zadkiel, so I imagine one of his angels comes with that mantra.
wow, that's beautiful. Jezri, I starred you, honey. We'll get to you next or in a little bit. Sherry, thank you for being here. Jezri, Lottie, Sharon Sipe is here. Hello, beautiful Sharon. Sharon had a birthday yesterday and I missed it. Happy birthday, Sharon. Rossi's done. Let's see. We'll go on. So, oh, okay. Sonia asks, how do you or what do you feel about purple fluorite?
Um, well, regardless of the base mineral, it is the purple that I'm focused on. And with flame comes transmutation, comes change, comes neutralization of electrons, which cause pain, which are an aspect of dark forces. So, as a transmuter in a silicone and mineral based fluid like solid like fluorite, the color is essential in terms of its power. And right now, the color range we need to use at this day and age is the purple or the violet or the purple violet, backed up with a golden yellow ray of knowledge and wisdom. Uh, you know, I'll tell you, I heard an interesting thing some years ago from the Dalai Lama. He says, we're not so much praying for peace. That doesn't seem to be working. What we need to be praying for is intelligence, that it's not wise to blow up your planet, blow up another person, things like that. So let's pray that people get smarter because praying for the peace doesn't seem to be working as fast as we want it to. So I go along with the Dalai Lama. Tell
Yeah.
them to get smarter. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so true, isn't it? Um, he's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see. Thank you, Sonia. And Lottie asks, what crystals are good for helping developing clairvoyance and also working with the Akashic records? Thanks.
Well, I'm looking at a ton of crystals here. Um, there is a crystal it's called a channeling stone in one book, but it's the only crystal that, oh gosh, let me see if I can give you a rough example of shape. Let's see. Okay, this is one of those crystals. It has 3 triangles that lead to one straight line up to the tip. So there's a triangle here, a triangle here, and a triangle over here. That's how you tell. There's three triangles on the side. It's not on exactly on the facet. It only takes three lines to make the facet. This is basically a heart stone. It's 45-degree angle, and our heart located in the body from the base chakra up to the heart is 45 degrees. So we call this a heart stone, and this is what you channel with. And the other way to tell it, if it's clear, and it's best to have a clear stone when you're channeling, is that you can look through the face of the stone, and up at the tip, you can see a pyramid, a phantom of a pyramid. Then you can turn it to the next facet and see it again. So this is the only stone out of the crystal kingdom that has three phantom pyramids within it by just looking through the face, one face of that pyramid or the other big face of the pyramid. So it's kind of, no, let's see if you can see it here.
Yeah. That's not selenite, is it? Is that
No, this is crystal.
crystal?
Yeah. And it only happens in crystal. And it only happens in this one stone or one shaped stone. There's a whole family of different crystal shapes,
Sorry.
which is the next book that we'll be putting out. But it's after about 25 years of studying shapes of crystals. And it's very simple. It's just we miss it, particularly if you got a lot of crystals.
Yeah. So what about lapis?
Oh, the royal stone. Yeah, blue power, willpower stone. You should have gold in it. It should be laced with gold.
Yeah. It's got quite a bit
Yeah,
of gold in it.
great if you want to boost your willpower and boost stamina. And the mantra that you would wear with lapis would be Prana Shakti Chi, Om Tijati, Prana, which is the life breath, Shakti is your feminine power, Chi is your masculine power. Give it a vibrational frequency of 90 to the 72nd power. That means it's going to vibrate normally at brain vibrational frequency. 72 is brain vibrational frequency.
Okay. Excellent. Somebody was just saying that she was told that she needed to learn more Sanskrit. I think it was Julie. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, it was Julie. She just mentioned that would be wonderful if we wrote it all down. She says, I have almost all of it. I've been told to learn some Sanskrit. I think it's happening.
Yeah, and if you don't, like I said, there's this automatic thing that the Great Spirit built within us. When we say Om Tijati, then whatever follows in English will be translated in the cosmic frequencies of Sanskrit. And you also receive the powers that you would receive if you were to say Om Tijati, then clairvoyance in Sanskrit. All you got to say is Om Tijati, clairvoyance. It's on.
Yeah.
Try it. Make yourself come from Missouri. Try it to believe it.
Sonia, yes, my fluorites and other crystals, clear in colors, my citrines. Crystals are wonderful. Thank you both so much, and everyone have a blessed day. Aw, you too, Sonia. Beautiful Sonia.
We hope to have a crystal jamboree, white crystal medicine jamboree, in 2027 at Coleman's Mine, and we'll have our plans are to have the entire campground with our group of folks there, and it's for classes in crystal healing, white crystal medicine, and also because it is a mine, we'll be digging for the participants to find their medicine stones. So this is coming
Wow.
up in a couple of years. You got time to plan for it. But we'll be at Coleman Mine.
2027?
Yes, we'll probably, based upon what this weather is going to be doing, uh, probably early June, July.
Okay. That sounds
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it doesn't sound right to want to go camping or digging during the times when it's raining, but it actually makes things easier after a good rain because the crystals get washed off and you can see them. They're the only thing that shine and the only thing that has a definite shape. So when it's rain, it's like heaven. Oh, there's a crystal there. It's all washed off. Let me just pluck it out of the ground and put it in my pocket.
Man, I love that. That'd be beautiful.
It's a lot of fun.
So this is my sister, Patricia Stokes. Do we have aliens in the ocean and or the center of the earth? Also, the Hopi Indians talk about ant people.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, definitely. I get goosebumps as we talk about it. Yeah. Um, we have a lot of different species that live inside of the planet. We have a reptilian race, uh, which of that race there are several different offshoots of that race. We've got individuals that can only live in an aquatic environment. Uh, that's why we have all of these bases in the ocean because of the ocean people. I call it the O people. They're the ocean people. They come from a water planet that is no longer in existence. This place is a refuge and it's a mining place. It's a mining hole for businesses. Universal businesses come here to make money and get gold and so on and so on. It's
Mhm.
crazy.
There's
Once the truth comes out, everybody will have a good laugh and we'll all have a beer together, including the aliens, the ones that can handle the atmosphere.
love that. Yeah, is that Mr. Handsome?
This is Mr. Handsome. You started talking about his people, aliens. He shows up.
Looks like he used to be a monk in some lifetime.
Oh, yes, and acts like it.
He's got that face, those eyes. I love that. Um, yeah, so, in the ocean, a lot of us come from that, don't we? 'Cause, I mean, I can just remember lifetimes and lifetimes of just staring at the sky and floating in the water.
Believe it or not, we have all been around many, many lifetimes. Uh, I don't know. I think I mentioned it once before, once we were in another session. I had a teacher by the name of Reverend Ed Rabel from Unity. He said something very interesting that we come in waves. A group
Yeah.
of people come in a wave, like an ocean wave, and then we all go out. And then there's another wave of folks that come in. And there's this thing about not remembering how to get back to heaven because of being in an amnesia atmosphere and remembering. And the remembrance to get back to our heavenly roots of eternal, what would you call it, nirvana. Um, it's just about whatever word you use to call God's name at the time that you leave your body. And the gurus say this is what we train for throughout this lifetime to say the right word to get back home when the body is no longer functioning. See, because your higher self never ceases to function as divine. Your holy self never ceases to function as divine. Your I self can be transfigured into an I am self, which can be transfigured to a divine being that lives forever. So that even the ego has a capability of transforming itself into a divine ascending state at the time the body drops.
Wow.
So God. Um, when the the yogi got shot. I'm trying to think of his name. Anyway, he said Rama when he was shot. Rama being another name for the Supreme Being. Christ will get you there. God will get you there. Govinda will get you there. There's thousands and thousands of names. Just using God will get you there. And
Yeah.
expect to see beauty and feel it. Feel the essence of something beautiful or a world that is totally beautiful.
I think I really miss it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But we, as light workers, all of your folks, we've come here to help relieve suffering, knowing that we live forever. So the little time that we spend here, it's a drop in the bucket, especially when we can relieve suffering.
Sometimes when I'm here, I feel like um, there's a sense of me that doesn't want to do too much, but there's another sense of me that wants to just go full throttle because why not? We're here, right? And
Yeah,
just kind of fly with it.
yeah. Well, you're doing it because of the camaraderie you're creating with like-minded light workers across the planet, and the changing energy that we're experiencing right now is an indication of their thanks that you are doing this.
Oh, thanks. I feel like everybody here is so enlightened, so we all um, participate in that. Annie Bear says ant bear medicine or ant medicine helps hold consciousness together. We can learn so much from them. They know oneness. Yeah.
Forgive me for laughing. I think I've told the story before. I don't know if I told it to you, Aunt Bear. When I was evolving into a higher level of consciousness, which is still happening, it never stops. Um, One of the first beings that I saw was an ant person, and it was a restaurant in Parkville, Missouri, where you went in the door and there was a chair where folks could sit and wait to be served or taken in to get their table. And I went in there, and there was this little guy, like a super midget, sitting there in the middle of this big red chair. And the only thing he says, look, look, and his nose started running, and then my nose started running. And he just says, now you know when the ETs are talking to you. And I looked away and he disappeared. Honest Injun. And I do have Indian in my system. But they helped human beings survive the flood. And they're still helping human beings evolve into higher levels of consciousness, which is a beautiful thing.
That is beautiful.
So whenever your nose starts running, there's probably a little person, an ET trying to get in contact with you, an ant person trying to get in contact with you. Say, hey, look up. There's a message from heaven for you.
Yeah, I feel like that happens all the time too, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then let's see, Rossi's den. I would love to know what my gifts are.
You are the gift. All of you. We're gifts to each other. We're gifts to Mother Nature. We're gifts to Great Spirit. You, as you, is the gift. There's no one else like you.
I
It's
love
just,
that.
yeah. You're divine. You're the marginal potency of the divine. And just having that nomenclature is a gift.
I heard Deepak at a lecture once say, people come and they say, "I'd like to find my guru," and he said, "Well, that's quite easy. Just go in front of the mirror and say, 'Gee, you are you.'"
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that might have originally come from the Dalai Lama or somebody. So, yeah, Rossi's Den, you have so many beautiful gifts and ninja powers.
One of the one
So,
of the one of the easiest ways to experience it is just put your fingers together. Om Tijati,
Om Tichati,
I am bliss.
I am bliss.
And let it set in. Let it move from one hand between one finger and the other, back and forth. I am bliss. Om Tijati, I am bliss.
I am bliss. Om Tijati, I am bliss.
You are that. You feel it?
Yeah, oh yeah, big time.
See, you can create your own bliss energy fields by combining the polarities of this wonderful machine we call a human body. Try that. And the slower you go, the greater feels that bliss feeling that you're moving. You're actually creating it and then projecting it not only to yourself, but to, oh, maybe folks 9, 10 miles away, maybe folks thousands of miles away. Who knows?
It's beautiful. Um, okay. Hypnicity says, do you know the Red Star Kachina prophecy?
No, you got to enlighten me on that one. Because when I think of a red star, I think of a star that may be going supernova.
Hmm.
I'm guessing. Nope, I sure don't.
Okay. We'll wait and see what hypnicity. Yeah, go ahead and put it in there, hypnicity, or else we can look it up. Um, Jezree says, is there a mantra connecting our to our inner healer to be able to heal ourselves and others? Good
Yeah,
question. Great questions.
yeah. Uh, for example, Om Tijati, I am in cancer remission. Tula, 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 Shakti Chi. Whatever follows the I am will be. So if you've got cancer, start the process by Om Tijati. Activated with Om Tijati. I am is whatever follows I am will be. And it's like I'm in remission. I got my angels with me too, and they're helping along with my own self healing myself. Everything you need to heal this body is within. The Om Tijati simplifies the process because of the number of languages on this planet. To be universal would be a universal constant, and Om Tijati is a universal constant that everyone can tap off of that is human. Because our shaman, healer, creator, Christ had one, created this body. It's just amazing its capabilities. So as you think things shall be, especially after Om Tijati and I am, they're just making it easier for us. You see, the extraterrestrial earthlings are our brothers, sisters in spirit, and they are assisting us in evolving to a higher level of consciousness, and also assisting us in advancement in our technology. We'll see a lot of super new things shortly. In fact, the neutralization of harmful radiation that causes so much cancer on this planet. And how to clean up the planet from nuclear radiation.
I'm reading about. Oh, well, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to
Another,
read up on the red star. I see blue star and red star on here. Kachina prophecies. Um, Let me see. Oh, and it's taking me back to something else. I'll look it up while you're talking about something else.
of the healer, there's a Christ healing meditation which I have in the book. There is a shorter meditation which is not as intense. Not I shouldn't say intense, but not as difficult to remember. And this is a healing meditation from Shiva Durga, and it is life over death. Maha, Homti Jati, Maha, Mirit, Yoon, Jaya Mantra. It goes Maha, M-A-H-A, Mirit, like Rit die, but M-I, Rit, dash R-I-T, Yoon, Y-O-O-N, as in soon, Ja, J-A-H dash H-A, Jaya, rather, Y-A-H, mantra, Maha Marichun Jaya mantra. That's victory over death, cures against any diseases thought to be incurable, protection against any disaster, car accidents, boat accidents, snake bites, you name it. It is an overall protective uh, energy or force field that surrounds you whenever you chant it, go into a perilous situation where you may lose life or limb. And this is a mantra that was created by the destroyer. And the destroyer energy is Shiva Durga, but it's not negative. It is something that is natural, like life comes from death and death comes from life. It's a natural universal constant. Those two exist together, and then there's preservation in the middle. Those are things that are universal constant. The mantra is a universal constant to extend your lifetime, especially from all of the dangerous situations that one can get themselves in once they walk out their door. So that would be the easiest one I would suggest using Mahamarityun Jaya mantra, Shiva mantra.
Lovely. Okay. Julie says, oh, yeah, she was talking about the Sanskrit before. That's excellent. Yeah. Um, and and what the universal mantra for the universe is so hum, right?
So inhalation, so exhalation. Yes. Comes with the breath naturally.
And you don't even have to say it out loud, do you?
No.
Yeah.
Just thinking.
Yeah. That's I think one of the first things that aham brahmasi, I am the universe. I mean, you know a lot more Sanskrit than I do for sure, George.
There's a lot to learn. I use a dictionary oftentimes just to get the correct translation. And even with that, because of the number of districts in India and the number of different styles of saying a word or having a word meaning, you might have a compassion, and compassion has 20 meanings. So it depends which one is the easiest one to say.
Well, we do a lot of best guess, what I call best guess spelling or best guess, best guess spelling. Um, my son used to go to this really organic granola school that was wonderful, very energetic, and they did best guess spelling, because they would write a lot to make it easier for the kids' brains so that they could get it out there faster. They didn't really care about the spelling. They just said, just yes, put it out there.
As it sounds.
Yeah. Yeah, which made so much more sense. And I think with Sanskrit, it's the same, isn't it? Best
Oh,
guess.
it is. There's, you can spend a lifetime just learning how to pronounce it for one sect,
Yeah.
And so I usually pick the easiest and the shortest path. So that would be the shortest mantra. It's the easiest one to say.
Yeah.
For the human language or for the American language.
And I love that numerical quoted that you give it at the end, that we can just do times 9 to the 90th power to the 72nd power. And that way you don't have to repeat it 1,000 times or 1,000,000 times, which monks do. They do that daily. They repeat it thousands of times.
And you can get through a lot of other mantras. You can cover 20 mantras in the time it takes to do 1,000 mantras, 1,000 repetitions of one mantra in the old system. But I also warn to be careful when you do too many mantras. You can get overcharged, and you don't want to end up being a space cadet.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, do ram, which turns down the volume.
Yeah, remember that, you guys, that do ram, because that's really important. A lot of us are having heart openings and Kundalini awakenings.
Oh,
and
yes.
Oh my God, if you open up your heart, it's like just an amazing energy, but it is a lot. It will fry a few brain cells. And the same thing with Kundalini.
Yes.
So
The easiest way to do it, if you have a copy of the text, there's a section in there that
I've got
gives
it in the
you
other room.
a numerical progression of how to activate your Kundalini. And particularly if you're working with doing self-healing, with cleansing the Kundalini system. And if you do just the upper half of the body, it's relatively easy to learn the system. The system is a linear progression of the number 9. So if you start at the base of the chakra, that would be 0, go up 9 degrees, so it would be 9, go up, add another 9 to 9, would be 18, would be the next chakra, add 9 to 18 would be 27, that's your navel belly button chakra, add 9 to 27, you're in the solar plex, 36 is the solar plex, add 9 to 36, you're at the heart, 45, add 9 to 45, you're at the throat chakra, which is 54 degrees, or an energy rating of 54, or vibrational rate of 54. Third eye is 63, and that's the vibrational rate of the third eye system. Your crown chakra is 72. Your higher self is about 18 feet above you. It is 81, and your universal self, which is 90 degrees on all sides of you, is 90. And you can triple that power or double that power by just adding a 0. But the chart helps you to charge up, and it also helps you if you're doing Kundalini cleansing, if you're charging yourself up before you do a reading or a healing. You've got to be in greater power than your patient. So it's good to use the chart I use it to charge up if I'm doing a chakra balance, or if I'm doing a class, I'll charge up using those numbers.
That's wonderful. Okay, we'll go back to the blue kachina. Okay. Hypnicity. This question. Okay. Not far behind the twins of the red kachina, will come the purifier, the red star Kachina, or not far behind the blue, rather, who will bring the day of purification. On this day of earth, her creatures, and all life as we know it, will change forever. There will be messengers that will precede this coming of the purifier. They will leave messages to those on earth who remember the old ways. The messages will be found written in the living stone, through the sacred grains, and even the waters. Crop circles have been found in ice. From the purifier will issue forth a great red light. All things will change in their manner of being. Every living thing will be offered the opportunity to change, from the largest to the smallest. Those who return to the ways given to us of the original teachings of a natural way of life will not be touched by the coming of the purifier. They will survive and build the new world. Only in the ancient teachings will the ability to be understood. The messages will be found. It is important to understand that these messages will be found upon every living thing, even within our bodies, even within a drop of our blood. All life forms will receive these messages from the twins, those that fly, the plants, the rabbit. Oh, it'll be a 7-year span. This is quite in depth, but I'll send it to you. But it's quite lovely. It sounds like transformation. I don't know. I think it's something that we need to study before we say too much about it. I'll let you read it. It sounds like 5D. Just 5D.
Yeah, you really got to be a student of the sacred Native American arts, because all of them are a little bit different
Yeah.
based upon their origin. I've found that those that have a base in the Pleiades, their religious systems are much the same and synchronous with Sanskrit, particularly the Hawaiian system of spirituality. And but a lot of that's coming out of the Pleiades. So we have a lot of resonance. Ancient alien ancestors that have come out of the Pleiades.
What about Easter Island? Like the guys from Easter Island, I've been seeing them around a little bit.
Yeah, it's just how they interpreted the Space Brothers, and they were taught to use those for generating energies. And unbeknownst probably to them, that their spaceships were also operating off of those piezoelectrical energies coming from statues and obelisks and pyramids.
Okay.
But as a pyramid society, there was no doubt. You know, the Giza pyramids have all the glory because, they were first to get publicized. But in reality, there's hundreds of pyramids across the planet. So at one time, we were a pyramid society, and it was universally constant by the construction techniques that show that everyone was working with similar architects. And the only thing that could be is power stations.
We had somebody recently on the channel, Joan of Angels, and she was talking about this, and she was talking about that the United States had more pyramids actually than any other country at this time.
It could be. I know that China has a lot, and who knows what's under the Arctic.
Yeah.
And for those that are intending to do remote viewing, I'm sensing that there's someone in your audience that's considering doing that. You have to be very careful with remote viewing, things that you may not want to see, because there's counter remote viewers. It's that kind of world. Let's get real. It's not anything to play with.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I've done remote viewing. I've gone to a dark place that sucked me in the stomach the next day. went into a back door and interested in helping some people, and not a good idea.
Yeah.
Not helping people, but going in the back door.
Yeah.
Cover my tracks.
Yeah. It's not our job. I don't think it's that is what our. It's nice as a novelty, but novelties can get you in trouble as much as a Ouija board can get you in trouble. Bud, you got to sit down, Mr. Hanson. Come
Hey,
on,
Mr. Handsome, what you doing?
you got to sit down.
Pamela has a nice question. Um, did they protect the circle of fire last night? Pamela, is that um, did they protect you in the circle of fire last night? Or who protected? I don't know.
All I can say is, Om Tijati, ask yourself the question, close your eyes, focus on images that would be on your brow chakra, and see if you can get that image up on your brow chakra to get an answer to your question.
Yeah. Yeah. Let us know if you've got more to say on that, because I don't think that came out very clear.
Well, I think I understand, because a circle of fire, oftentimes you'll use the 90-degree chakra to create a circle of fire around you for protection.
She says from the earthquake, the higher powers. There's an earthquake in Alaska, like a 7.2 or 7.6, 7 point something, quite a large one.
And that is concerning, particularly in Alaska, because there's the whole system of the chain reaction of earthquake activity, and generally the big ones start in Alaska. So, what do? We pray for the safety of our loved ones and friends and everybody out there.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it woke her up. She texted me this morning. Hi, Cheyenne's shining. Um, and we talked about it a little bit. Oh, Sharon had. Oh, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Now I understand what she was talking about, because it's that circle of volcanic fire that surrounds the Pacific. It's a chain reaction of earthquakes and volcanoes. I forget what they call that zone.
Oh,
It's
the Ring of Fire.
the Ring of Fire. Yes, gotcha.
Yeah. Do you think that I was let me see, I'm gonna star that hypnicity. Yeah, from the earthquake, but the higher powers protect us from that. Are they protecting us? Like, are they protecting us? Okay, let's ask a couple of then. Are the higher powers or the galactics? A lot of people feel like the galactics are protecting us from using weapons, too many weapons. Like what are they called? The weapons that blow everybody up.
Nukes.
Nukes. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're turning them off. They've turned them off for all of these nations that have nuclear weapons. They will not be allowed to use them, simply because it's unfortunate, but we have a tremendous amount of wormholes that surround this planet. When there's a nuclear detonation, and even with the radiation that's on the planet, they are leaking out of these wormholes into other dimensions. So that's why they are monitoring all the nuclear devices, and if anyone gets activated, they shut it off.
Do the wormholes have a correlation with the Easter Island symbols, the guys?
Well, yes. Every culture that was associated with it had their spin-off of recognizable symbology. Um, for example, a lot of a lot of Hindu symbology and statuary design can be found in South America, and vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah. Sharon Robinson has a good question. Is something going to happen soon?
Yes. It's happening when you look up and you see something zoom across the sky and faster than a speeding bullet. Uh, it's happening. And again, as to when the big announcement will be made, it's no biggie. They've made an announcement, but even the news media hasn't really believed that there is extraterrestrial activity going on because they haven't seen it. So they got to be taught to go to Missouri, and seeing is believing. I say that having experienced an ET at a distance, an ET up close, and I mean within 4 feet of me, take off in his little convertible saucer at warp speed to where he left a trail in my backyard. Honest. And they're here. I like the little ships though. They're like little thunderbirds. Yes, the Vimanas.
Yeah. Yeah. So I get that there are more and more entities around now all of a sudden. And a lot of little, like out of the corner of my eye, I can look and I can see blanks, like a TV screen, but there's a hole in it. You know what I mean? Like the veil is thinning
Yes.
and we can see beyond it.
Yes.
The hologram.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was in an interesting situation last night. I stayed at my son's house because he has electricity, and they're chefs, and they have dinner parties for their folks and club parties for the folks in their neighborhood, and they're cooks. You know, they like to do pastries and blah 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 blah.
Nice.
I mean, daily, and I'm sitting there. And my hair goes up on the back of my head, which usually tells me that there's a ghost in the room. And I'm going, there's a ghost in here. What the heck? And he says, no. Well, as a matter of fact, this used to be a guy by the name of Walt Bodine's house. Walt Bodine, you know him. He was a great, visited all these restaurants, and his thing was food, blah, blah, blah. He used to live there. And I said, well, and then I heard him say, well, I like the company because they have fun and cooking. I'm going, okay. So the house is just drawing former passed over owners just just for the camaraderie of being with folks that enjoy good food.
I love that. I bet
Yeah,
he's really happy with that.
yeah,
He was quite a interesting person. So something is going to happen soon. Yeah, things are opening up, right? No fear and love. That's right, Pamela. Oh,
yeah.
definitely.
Look up.
Yeah. And yeah, the US did have pyramids. Joan said that she thought that the government was hiding them from us somehow, that they're aware of them, but they're
Yeah,
hidden.
they're buried over,
Mm,
or they're in. Considering the length of time that they've been out there, they're usually covered over with, trees and forests, like they're covered over down in South America.
yeah. Yeah.
The main thing is keeping them from incurring any of the human diseases, and vice versa.
Yeah. Oh, Jesri is so sweet. Oh my goodness, Terry and Reverend Sol. I just have to thank you both so much for educating me and everyone else here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. She's so sweet.
You're welcome. Our
Aw,
pleasure.
that's so loving. We love you, Jesri. And then she asks, what alien ET uses a ship that looks like a glowing orange basketball? I've seen one once and it floated over me, hovered for a few seconds, then took off.
It's hard to say. It really is, because they're working as a unit, and there are different species that are working together as a unit. So there's not one species that's inhabiting this flight system, so to speak. And then two, is it AI? Is it artificial intelligence? Or is it part artificial intelligence? Or is it our Space Force? So you have to consider that all three can be in that space with this glowing orange basketball. It's just an energy system. Most of them that you see are drones. If they're not drones, they're surveillance weapons, they're surveillance vehicles, and they're functioning in infrared, ultraviolet, microwave zones of spectrum of sight. It depends upon the particular species and their technology.
Hmm.
We got a lot of different folks from a lot of different planets, at least 80 different planets that are on this earth right now. And they come and go. Some are permanent, some just visit. It's on their way home.
Patty asks about how about time travel? I would love to do that. You do.
There's a hitch with time travel, dear. You can take off and go someplace, and it seems instantaneous to you. Then you come back, and everybody that you knew is not on the planet anymore. There's there's some hitches in the giddy up there when it comes to time travel that have to be watched. They can overcome that. I can't tell you how they do it because of the technology, but they can overcome that.
Okay. Hypnicity asks, is there a correlation between 5D and 5G?
Is she talking about internet connections?
I think so. About the phones, they have the 5Gs up,
Yeah.
the internet connections, and fifth dimension, like going into the new dimensions and densities.
Oh, yes, they're using alien technology to do that. Uh, Actually, you need to talk to my son about that. He's way up more abreast as to how all that stuff works than I am. It's beyond Star Trek now.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
Cheyenne asks, is there a correlation between the pandemic and the idea of farming the earth in preparation for extraterrestrial cohabitation?
Yeah,
Terraforming.
yes, it has crossed some of these crazy folks' minds, and the attempt to annihilate the human race with, yeah, it was done on purpose. They tried to kill us off.
So Wow.
You have a whole species that does not believe that we should be on this planet, and these are the reptilians. You have a green species, brown species on the planet currently. The master species of the reptilians is white, and they look like white alligators with two legs, basically, but they're warriors. If you watch Star Trek, they're kind of like the Klingons, and they believe that we do not belong here, that they were the first species, particularly with the dinosaurs, which is part of their DNA. So we have inherent enemies. They were the ones that fought off the Supreme Being and incarnations of the Supreme Being and escaped under the planet. So they're still here. That's just one underground civilization.
Julie, I love your spunk, girl. Of course it was. Well, it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like one of my grandmas. Spunky. I love that. Well, that's great. Yeah. So, well, we are at 121. So this is a good time, I think. We don't want to wear you out. And thank you, all our beautiful people that came, subscribers, tribes. And we're coming back next week. George will be on with BC. And I'm not sure what we're doing yet. I'll leave that to you guys. I think this worked out really well. Everybody got their questions in, and excellent questions today. Man, really amazing.
I think she might have a journey planned.
Oh, lovely. That sounds lovely. Would love a journey. Yeah. So thanks everybody for being here, and we will see you soon. And I'm going to make sure that George gives me that mantra, and I'll write it in community or I'll write it in the description. So everybody have a beautiful day. Namaste. I see your light. My light sees your light.
Tula, tula, tula.